The emergency medical staff, the proposed 2.5-cent sales tax would also directly fund the Conejos County Emergency Medical Services, EMS, for hiring, employing, equipping EMS staff and support staff. Who's running the current emergency medical services? I do oppose this because I don't know who this is and what it is specifically. 2.5 cents, this is way too much, and you're giving a whole bunch of money to the sheriff's department when you don't even know who the sheriff is going to be. Is it going to be Crowther? Are we going to give him a whole bunch of money? Are we going to give Leroy or... Why did I think Leroy Garcia? It's Ortiz, right? Jacob Ortiz. So we're going to give Jacob Ortiz all this money. We're going to give Crowther all this money. And then again, who runs the EMS? So this isn't an attack. And there's a interim sheriff right now because the last sheriff got kicked out. So Conejos County is broken. There was a sheriff, and then he leaves, but he doesn't say why he left. The lawyer says that he admits no wrongdoing, which usually means there was some wrongdoing. So, wrongdoing? What are we doing? What are we doing here? If there's wrongdoing, what the fuck? So the sheriff's office is corrupt, and we're going to give a shit ton of money to the sheriff's office, hoping that the brand new person who gets in there will just take a bunch, all this money and then use it correctly. We're just supposed to assume that. So the cops traditionally like to bully. They don't like to help others. They just want to yell at people and they want to attack people. They don't do anything good for society. Again, Mogote is cop free and it's peaceful. It is so peaceful in Mogote. It's so peaceful in Cannon. It is so peaceful in these places that have no police. And if you look at all the cities, I mean, you have what? You have Manassas, you got La Jara, you got Antonito, Blanca, but Almosa. So there's some that have town governments and therefore town police. But most of the cities, Bountiful, Estrella, these cities have no police officers. So people want to act like, oh, well, they're liberals. They like to say, they accuse liberals of this, and even though liberals don't even do this, I do it. The best government is the government which governs least. Or even better, the one who doesn't govern at all. So these small towns where people know each other and they got each other's back, that's the safest towns that you could go to. The ones where you got corrupt police, that's when you're going to get all the problems. And then EMS. And just, I'm breaking groupthink here. So if the EMS are great and the sheriff's, offices are great, then maybe the money could help. But 2.5 cents... Again, in Pueblo, just 1/10 of a sales tax or 1/2 cents of a sales tax is hard as hell to get passed. And here, this is Republican fuckingville in Republican County, Conejos. They want 2.5 cents to what? Get basic infrastructure to make sure the rich and the corporations are doing good. Yeah, I can see why the rich and corporations would want these things. But EMS. I've been with EMS before, and if you're a victim of injustice with public officials, the EMS will be on the side of them. The EMS, I had, got my face punched in, and the EMS was sitting there laughing at me and trying to tell me to go ahead and reset my nose, and they broke my nose just because I was walking to the store. And so these EMS, and then what about the bills? The EMS always charges $500 fucking dollars, or $1,000 for this shit. So just because you came in a big ass truck, picked me up, and then drove 30 minutes away, I got to pay you $500 fucking dollars. In terms of gasoline, what? Maybe 30 bucks gas, 40 bucks gas. But I'm paying you 2.5 fucking cents. I'm paying you a sales tax. This is our money going to you. But I guarantee you, once they get that fucking money, they'll keep the money and they'll say, no, you have no decision. So I don't know who the sheriff's going to be. I'm not going to give a shit ton of money to a position that's empty. It's got an interim right now because the last sheriff was corrupt or did something stupid or what the fuck ever. He wasn't getting respect, so he just steps down. And then Emergency Medical Services, hiring, employing, equipment. So the EMS, if they're great people, then, maybe it'll be sufficient. But they're not telling me who is actually in charge of any of this. You want a shit ton of fuck? You want me to pay for you, give you a shit ton of money so you can employ your friends and you can have a good ass job. And then when I'm actually sick and I need help, you'll fucking drag your feet. You might... cops don't help. Cops also need to start helping people. So the cops need to not injure people all the time. They need to actually be community police officers. Just your presence is enough. And if you're planting trees and you're doing good things for the community, but I guarantee you, when you're, a psychopath, you're not going to plant trees. You're not going to help anybody with their cars. You're not going to help people get jobs. You're not going to help the public. You're just going to use the strong arm of the law and going around hurting people. And if you get satisfaction off of hurting people, you're a sadistic, low-life piece of shit. So I do oppose the sales tax question because I don't think anybody would. It seems like it's inevitable, but somebody's got to say something, and so I'm saying something. So the sales tax question, 2.5 cents, that's a fucking shit ton. And this is all for Sanford. Sanford already has a police station, so what the fuck, Sanford? Y'all just need to get your shit together. Include all of the citizens in your all's community. So Sanford is actually kind of remarkable because they're a home rule city. One of the few home rule cities here. Alamosa City is home rule, and Sanford is home rule. And then two of them, I think Rio Grande, Monte Vista, and some other place. So there's only like 4 home rule cities around here. Sanford being the closest one to me, Alamosa being the second closest. So they have their own judge. They got their own municipal judge. Just Antonito does too, but I don't know why. Antonito, I don't think is a home rule city unless they are. I don't. Do they have 2,000? You know, did they vote on this? Because it seems weird that they would have a municipal court in the little, you know, the huge metropolis of Antonito when the fucking county courthouse is right there. So why do you got a municipal court when the county courthouse is right there? So the reason why I say that is because they're the ones that push the sales tax issue because they're afraid of the heroin addicts. They're trying to blame. I'm going to speak about this in more detail, but there's reactionaries. There's a lot of marijuana reactionaries in Colorado. Colorado doesn't realize how liberal they've had it for a long time because they've been voting on issues for a long-ass time. So every year I have 13 state issues. And then here's a sales tax question for Conejos that I need to answer. So this never happens in Kentucky. They don't ask us any issues. We're just told to, you know, vote for the people who run over us. But in Colorado, when the people vote for it, the people get what they want. The people get what they want. So nobody can, even the governor cannot veto initiated legislation. If the people vote for it, it's the law. So they don't realize how liberal that is around here. It's very fucking liberal. And the fact that the government actually listens to the people, they actually ask them questions, that's amazing. The only question Kentucky voters ever got was in 2004, do you want to fuck over the gay people? And of course, Kentuckians said, yeah, fuck those fucking pieces of shit over. So, yeah, fantastic, huh? Fan-fucking-tastic. So, the EMS, they overcharge the money. They don't do a good fucking job. I remember I twisted my ankle, and I called them. It took about 30 minutes for them to get there, and then it just seems like people are just fucking psychos. I will tell you this, okay? So, you want me to give more money to the EMS? Actually, that's Custer County. So, I'll tell you coming up. But, you know, I don't know who these people are. It's a lot of fucking money. You're giving a lot of money. Just throw money at the situation. I think sometimes if you throw money at the situation, it'll fix it. But that by itself doesn't fix it. So 200 people in Sanford, they vocally said that they wanted, you know, these EMS and these sheriff services. 2.5 cents is a lot. Sales tax, you're asking us to pay 2.5 cents on every fucking thing that we buy. They're going to generate millions of dollars. So they're going to be in a very high, very powerful positions. And again, are they doing a good job? Are enough people getting hurt to where it makes sense to pay these assholes a shit ton of money? Are they just, you know, too stretched and they can't do all that they need to do? Man, you know what? I want the cops to do less. You know, I love it when I'm driving on a road where there's nobody around. It's like, oh, this is nice. And so, yeah, until the police start helping people, and then still the EMS, I don't even trust that they'll help people. So until I know who these people are, who the point person is, who we throwing all this money at, yeah, I can't support the sales tax 2.5. So the Republicans are all about fucking jacking everybody. And it's also sales tax is a regressive tax because we all got to pay 2.5 cents. The rich, this is nothing for the rich. 2.5 cents, who gives a shit? They don't give a shit. This is nothing for the rich. It does stop consumption. I don't know. So, it could be good. It could be utilized well. Anyways, so yeah. Those are my objections. The EMS and the sheriff's office aren't always good, so why the fuck would I throw a shit ton of money at, you know? And the sheriff's office is the one that just quit this, so he said he wasn't getting respect, but what the fuck? You're the sheriff, so, you know, demand respect, and, yeah, okay, that's enough. So, don't vote for Conejos County. 2.5, I mean, I thought you guys were, are the Republicans a bunch of taxes spend, liberal fucking idiots? So the Republicans will raise your all's fucking taxes to fund their fucking bullshit to get a better infrastructure so they could, you know, get richer while the poor get poorer. But will they raise taxes to fight the war on poverty? You know, 1 out of 5 kids here in Conejos County, more than 1 out of 5 kids here are drowning in poverty. Is anybody even addressing the poverty issue whatsoever? So you want me to throw millions of dollars, not to help poverty, but to help, you know, 2 people in 2 departments, 2 directors in 2 departments, make a shit ton of money and hire whoever the fuck they want to hire and maybe give me the service I need? No. If I'm hurt, I'll drive myself, because fuck the ambulance. They'll take fucking forever. And then the doctors, there's... The story I want to talk about was just a kid had his fingertip was cut off, and they're sitting there talking about liability. There's a Fort Garland Museum. They're talking about liability issues. All I could think of, if the longer you let that finger sit off to the side without reattaching it, the longer that you're making it heal. You need to fix it right now. Get him into surgery right now. Get that, you know, so the liability is you not giving a shit. You're acting like liability is what's preventing you from giving a shit. It happened on their fucking land. They weren't doing shit about it. But we didn't have an ambulance. We couldn't call an ambulance there. Well, we can't do nothing about it. We don't have a parent. If we don't have a parent, then there's liability issues. You're going to let that kid's fucking finger rot off? You should be liable. You're not being a human being because you're a psycho piece of shit. It was a woman. But there's, you know, male cops in the back or male security guards in the back, so I don't know what they were doing. But she was loud. We don't have liability. We don't pay the citizen, so we can't take you. God damn, my anxiety would be going out of my fucking mind. My finger's cut off and you're acting like, you know, liability issues. Fuck you. Fuck you. Get me to the fucking hospital and reattach my fucking finger. So, yeah, how come, if, you know, that's Castillo County, so I don't know if they have ambulance, but if this thing passes, this will be the last thing. If this thing passes, 2.5 cents for every person here we're giving to the sheriffs and we're giving to the EMS. The EMS better give me a fucking free, just cheap $100 fucking bill. I'm paying your all's fucking way. 2.5 cents is a shit ton of money. I want a sheriff's office that goes around planting trees, helps grandmothers, actually protects and serves my children, doesn't just yell at them and use violence against them. I'm tired of people using violence against children. I'm so fucking sick of it. Violence is one of the worst things out here, and you shouldn't rape, you shouldn't murder, you shouldn't attack people, and you shouldn't rob people. Those are the worst things out here, and it seems like I'm seeing those things all over the place. Even the fucking mayor. Is this Ty Coleman? Is Ty Coleman, he's at the Rio Grande Bank, so is he fighting for the citizens or the Rio Grande Bank? He goes to Walmart for the grand reopening. So Walmart put more money into themselves and they're able to get on the front page of the news for this fake fucking grand reopening. But, yeah, if this sales tax question passes, and I'm a Conejos County citizen, you better send me a fucking ambulance and it better be dirt fucking free or dirt cheap. And the sheriffs better start helping others. If they don't help people, what the fuck are we paying the sheriffs for? We're going to give them more money to go after the fucking heroin and the war on drugs? Fuck you. Go after the war on poverty. Focus on poverty. What the fuck are you all doing about poverty? If you're not, you have no plan, poverty is a big issue. If you have no plan on how to combat poverty, poverty will not be combated. So yeah. Sales tax question set for November ballot. Don't vote for the sales tax question, and also vote for the Democrats, because the Republicans here, they're too scared. They're too scared. They don't want to share their ideas because they don't have any ideas. They're going to be tyrants. If you don't have a platform, you're not promising anything. At least a shop with the cop. Crowther, you're going to do a shop with the cop so you can at least establish a relationship with my son before you start, you know, beating him up for no reason and then raping him up in jail. I don't know if that's... They're just cops, right? So if they're all about violence, are they about raping and murder too? Yeah. If they don't believe in morality and they don't have any principles, to think that cops can murder and they won't do any other crimes. Like I said, Crowther seems to be a nice guy, but I've seen a picture of him being an asshole too. So if he likes you, you know, but that's everybody, isn't it? If they like you. And that's corruption. You're supposed to love the people. So yeah, you protect your friends and your family, but if you're a politician, you got to add the people into the mix too. And if you're not even thinking about the people, then fuck you. That means I have no chance of getting any say-so. So, yeah. Sales tax question. Vote no, Conejos County. Vote for Jacob Ortiz. Vote for Leslie Salazar. And vote for Steve Cordova. Change will happen with those folks, and Conejos County needs to change.